Hi there, good morning children. Today is Friday and all M2 children know that on Fridays we will be doing culture. We'll be working with the culture book, which is this yellow book. You all know this yellow book, right? This is your culture book and we always have a theme. And this term's theme will be wonders in the garden. Repeat with me. Wonders in the garden. Wow. Isn't that a very beautiful place to go to? The garden? I'm so sorry that these days you are not able to go to the garden because of the lockdown. Yeah, many of you are not allowed to go to the garden, but I hope that probably in a month or so they will open up the gardens and you may be able to go. But let's try to recollect all those beautiful memories we had about doing things in a garden, which may be in your own apartment or around your house or maybe in your grandparents' place or when you go to the garden itself, which is there, the public parks if you go. So we are going to see what are the beautiful things, the wonderful things that you have seen in the garden. Particularly today, we are going to be seeing about, what do you see here? Some very exciting creatures. What are they? Insects. Of course, we all know there are so many flowers and trees and shrubs and grass growing in the garden. But the more interesting will be these insects. Do you know that these insects are actually not there to trouble you? They are there because they are also going to help the garden. They are going to help the plants to grow well. They are going to help to nourish the soil. The soil has to be very rich so that a very beautiful plant can come up. So these creatures are there. I will not call them insects because some of them are insects and some of them are not insects. So let's call them together as creatures. So we will see these creatures in the garden which will help in the plants to grow very well. Okay, so I have a picture here of a garden just for you to recollect what I am talking about. So you will see trees, plants, sometimes you might even see gardening tools like rakes or shovel or these hose pipes for watering. All these things are a garden mower or a wheelbarrow for taking the things. You would have seen the gardener will be pushing a wheelbarrow with all the materials in it or some fruits or vegetables in it. He'll be carrying it and going. So we are going to see about the insects today. Okay. Let's see what are all the insects that I have here. I have here a grasshopper, ants, frogs, centipedes, snails, honeybees, lots of butterflies, dragonfly, house flies, mantis, bats, ladybird, wasp and scorpion. Okay, I have a cockroach also here, but I don't know, I find cockroaches more around the houses and not much in the garden because they live around smelly places, dark places. These are not like that. They live around wherever there is bright sunshine. Okay? Okay. Now let's focus. Now I gave you a lot of names. You need not worry. I'm going to ask you all the names. I'm just going to focus on few insects today and we will learn about them. Okay? So before that, you have to know that what an insect is. An insect is a kind of a creature from the animal kingdom. Okay, you will see that specifically that they have 6 legs only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. They have 6 legs, 2 wings, abdomen, thorax. Thorax is their chest portion, head and antennae. Okay, let's go one more time. Head, thorax, abdomen, legs, wings and antennae. Head has all the vital organs like the eyes, for it to taste, its mouth, all that you find it in the head. Just like you have your head, you have your eyes and mouth. Thorax, that's the chest portion. And abdomen is their big stomach where the food is stored. Okay? And legs, it helps them to move around. Wings also help them to move. It helps them to fly. And then comes this interesting part which is called as the antennae. The antennae helps them to feel things around them. They try to feel with their antennae, like how you try to touch and feel with your fingers and hands. Insects use antennae to feel. Now, for you to remember the parts of this insect, I'll give you a song. You can sing along with me, okay? Head, thorax, abdomen, abdomen, head, thorax, abdomen, abdomen, and legs and wings and antennae. Head, thorax, abdomen, abdomen. How is that song? Now is it easy for you to remember? Let's sing one more time. Head, thorax, abdomen, abdomen, head, thorax, abdomen, abdomen, and legs and wings and antennae. Head, thorax, abdomen, abdomen. Now I have my control card here. You know when you get back to school how you work with it. You have your head and the thorax and abdomen, legs, wings and antennae here. You're going to match it by keeping on it. Okay, and naming the part of that body. So that's for you the insects. Now we are going to move to our workbook. In our workbook, we will be doing page number 1 and 2. Page number 1 is about just a beautiful picture of a garden which has some flowers, some mushrooms, some butterflies, and maybe if you want you can add your own caterpillar in it, or you can add a wriggly worm inside it. Anything you like, try and color it and make it look beautiful. When you bring back your book, I want to see a very beautiful garden. There's not a place here also. You can fill it up with whatever you like. Some insects in the garden that you have seen. I don't see a frog here. Maybe you can draw a frog and color it up. Okay? So that's your first page. In the second page, they're talking about some creatures which you commonly find in the garden. I'm going to name them one by one. Ant, ant, snail, snail, centipedes, grasshopper, butterfly and honeybees. You got the names? I want you to remember just these names. Ant, grasshopper, butterfly, honeybee, centipede and snail. Let's see what I have to tell about them. Snail. You see, I have these nomenclature cards of insects. They are all yellow. But the snail is not in a yellow color, it is in a grey color because these are all insects. Snail is not an insect, okay? But anyway, we are going to learn today about the creatures. I will tell you later what exactly a snail is. Let's see what's special about the snail. I want you to take a closer look at the snail. A snail has a very soft body. It has a very soft body, but it protects itself with a house around itself. It goes and stays inside this and carries this house wherever it goes. That's a very hard shell. You see? That's a very hard shell. Now I don't have a snail inside it. It's gone. I just brought the shell. So, a snail lives inside a shell like this. There are so many kinds of snails. There is sea snails, there is freshwater snails, and there is also land snails. We are talking about land snails which live in the garden. Now, one very interesting thing I want to tell you is, these snails, they have two pairs of antennae. One on top and a pair below. Okay? One pair on top and one pair down. Do you know where the eyes of the snails are? Right on top of the antennae which is there on the upper part. You see that? Just at the tip of these antennae you will find the eyes of the snail. It helps them to see in all directions. These antennae can actually twist around like that. It can twist, it can see back, it can see front. So it can see in all directions. Eyes are not fixed here. It is on the tip of this thing. And these pairs of antennae, it helps this, not antennae, sorry, tentacles. It helps them to taste things. Okay? It helps them to taste whatever is around them, feel a touch and feeling, their way of feeling things. Okay? Then, you will find them in the garden moving around slowly. They eat on small little bugs. Why should they eat the bugs? Because they are hungry. But when they are around eating up all these bugs, it is very good for the plant. Because if the bugs are going to eat up all the leaves of the plants, then the tree will be without any leaves. So what does this snail do? It helps the plant by eating up all those bugs. Okay? And they are very active only in the night. Butterfly. You all have seen a butterfly very often. Butterfly, like what we saw in the thing, it has its wings and antennae. Can you see the antennae here? Yeah, that's the antennae. It tries to taste and feel things with this antennae. Okay? Now what does the butterfly do? How does it help in the garden? Butterflies like the nectar in the flowers. The flowers have nectar in this portion. And butterflies, with the help of the antennae, they come and sit on the plants and take the nectar from the plants and fly and go and collect and keep it in their hives to make honey. But when they are coming from one flower to another flower, when they jump from flower to flower, they share these pollens which are there on the flower from one flower to another. It helps in making more plants around you, more flowers around you. Okay? So, butterflies help in sharing the pollen from one flower to another flower. Then, let's talk about centipede. Centipedes. Centipedes means 100 legs. What does it mean? 100 legs. Can you see that? There are so many legs. 100 legs and a pair of tentacles too. But although it has a name which means 100 legs, centipede, actually the centipede does not have 100 legs. Okay, it does not have 100 legs. It has, sometimes it may be lesser than 100 or it can be more than 100, but definitely not exactly 100. There's never 100. They mostly They are always in odd numbers only, not 100. It may be 99 or 101 legs, but they will not have 100 legs. And the very wonderful part about this centipede is, let's say some insect is trying to attack it. Let's say a spider is trying to attack the centipede, and the centipede is trying to wriggle and come out, and in this process it loses its legs. It loses some of its legs. It's gone. Half the body is gone. Half the legs are gone. Means, you know what happens? After a period of time, they start growing out their legs. They start growing their legs, like how our nails grow. For them, their legs itself start growing. Okay? Very special they are. And how are they helpful in the garden? They like to eat the small organisms which are there under the soil. So they will go inside the soil, eating up the small creatures which are there under the soil. But because they are going under the soil, tunneling itself, burrowing itself inside the soil, it creates spaces inside the soil for the roots to grow and to get oxygen. Okay, so they are also helpful. They can be actually, their fangs here in the beginning, you see these things, that can have a little bit of poison. So if you try to provoke them unnecessarily, they might sting you and it can be poisonous. So better leave them alone. They are just there in the garden to eat the bugs. They are not there to disturb you. If you don't disturb them, they will be going about their work and they will be helpful in the garden. Okay. Ants. Ants also have 6 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a pair of antennae. The ants, very special about them, they are very tiny. Of course here you have a big one so that you can see quite well. But ants can carry things which are heavier than themselves. Now let's think about ant. Can ant carry Diksha? No. Can Nishwant carry Dishant? No, it's very heavy. But ant is not like that. It can carry things which are heavier than its own weight. Okay? If you ask Ketav to carry Dishant, means Ketav will be able to carry, because Dishant is smaller, he can carry. But if you ask Ketav to carry someone bigger than him, he cannot carry. Ants are not like that. Ants can carry really heavy things on its back and it can go like this. They can carry and walk around heavy things. Okay? And they live in colonies. Colonies means they live together. Lots of ants together. They live together in an ant hill. Okay? Okay, so that is ants, and then we have to see about honeybee. The honeybee also, just like the butterfly, they also do the same thing. They collect nectar and they go and deposit in the hives and they make honey. Okay, they also help in sharing this pollens which are there on the one flower and go move all these pollens. They go and keep their living. They put their feet on another flower. The pollens from this go into that flower. Okay, they share these pollens between flowers, which helps in more flowers coming around you. Okay, so these are the creatures that you find around, and you will be doing in your exercise, you will be coloring these creatures. Ants, which live in colonies, snails, which are nocturnal with hard bodies. I told you about their tentacles. They have eyes on their tentacles. Then centipede, which has 100 feet. And then we talked about butterfly and we talked about honeybees. I think we missed the grasshopper. The grasshopper necessarily need not be in green color. They adapt to the color that is around them. They like eating leaves or cereal plants, cereal crops they like to eat. So going by the color of that leaf or that cereal plant, they'll have the same color of the field. So if the field is green color, they'll also be green color. But if they are going to be living in an environment which is having dirt and sand, they will be in brown color. Okay? But these locusts, grasshoppers are very good for the garden, and but we have another variety which is called as locust. They look like them, but they are brown in color. They come together as swarms and they attack all the plants, all the crops which the farmer is growing. They are not good. They are called pests. This is not a pest. Grasshopper is not a pest. Grasshopper is a friend in the garden. A locust, which looks just like this but in a brown color, is a pest. Okay. The grasshopper also has, if you see, it has 6 legs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it has antennae and it has wings and the same thorax and abdomen. Okay. So you can start coloring them and name them and try to remember the points that I have told you. See you again next Friday to talk about more wonders in the garden. Okay. Bye-bye.